Welcome to a new video. My name is Luis with International Admissions, and today I'm going to talk about how to transfer to the University of Arizona. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about what does it mean to transfer. We're going to talk about the difference of an academic transfer and an immigration transfer. There are three different phases in the process: the admission, the articulation, and the awarding of credit. And throughout the presentation, I'm going to show you additional resources and emails and various websites that can be used to examine all of this information in detail. We're going to start by talking about the academic transfers versus immigration transfers. And this video focuses on academic transfers. It's important that we talk about this first to ensure that nobody gets confused about the different situations where these terms are used. So let's begin. We're going to show you examples for when transfer is used. For example number one, we can talk about an academic first-year student with transfer immigration paperwork. For example, there could be an international student coming from a U.S. high school. If that high school supports international students by issuing I-20s or supporting them for getting student visas, then that student could be studying at a U.S. high school, and eventually that student would pursue transferring that immigration record to a U.S. college or university. So in that case, that could be a transfer immigration paperwork scenario with academic first year record because it's coming from a high school going for the first time to a college or university. In example number two, we can talk about an academic transfer with new immigration paperwork. For example, an international student coming from abroad from a foreign college or university. That can be a common situation where students around the world, perhaps they started their university studies, but decide to transfer or go to the US, in this case to the University of Arizona. Most likely we would consider them a transfer student on academic terms if they have 12 or more transferable units. But for the immigration purposes, that student most likely would be getting an I-20 with the purposes of getting a student visa for the first time. So that would be new immigration paperwork that the student would have. In example number three, we could have academic transfer students with transfer immigration paperwork. For example, international students transferring from a U.S. college or university. A U.S. college, for example, could be a community college. A very common scenario for us at University of Arizona would be international students transferring from Pima Community College. So that would be a pure transfer, not only in academic terms, but in immigration terms. So as you can see, there are different examples for when the word transfer is used. For the purposes of this video, we are focusing on academic transfers. So for students that are considering to transfer to the University of Arizona, these could be popular questions, and they are very common that we get all the time. How many credits will transfer? How much longer to graduate? We understand that if you are considering to transfer to the University of Arizona, you want to understand this in the beginning to see how much further or how much longer you have to study in order to finish your University of Arizona degree. And that is the purpose of this video, to help you understand that in order for us to answer those questions, you do have to understand that the process is divided in different phases and that it can take time. So let me show you what that process looks like. The academic transfer process begins with phase one. That would be the admission phase. And for that, we go to admissions.arizona.edu. Let me go to the page so I can show you where to find the information. So once you're there in admissions.arizona.edu, the first thing to do is to click under how to apply in international. Once you do that, you're going to see different boxes or different sections. We are focusing on transfer international. So you're going to click on this box. And once you're there, this is a how to apply transfer international page that will show you step by step everything that you have to know in terms of requirements and specific information for how this process looks like. This is the admission process. And you're going to see, of course, at various steps, you're going to understand academic requirements. That's step number one. And step number two, you're going to see that we require the completion of the University of Arizona application. We call it the Future Wildcat application. And you'll see that you have to complete it and submit it, and then you have to pay an application fee. And then we ask for college transcripts and proof of English proficiency if required. Once you're ready to apply, you're going to see buttons to do that, to submit your application. And in your application or after you submit it, you can send your transcripts. You can send your college transcripts and your high school transcript, whatever you have to send. You can upload those in your application, or you can send those after you submit your application. So the reason why you want to go to this website is because we give you all the specifics about official documents, unofficial documents, official college university transcripts, official high school transcripts. And then right here under step number 3, you can click right there, and that's going to take you to our transcripts page for international applicants. And that's going to give you all the information about transcripts, understanding the differences with high school transcripts, college and university transcripts, domestic transcripts or international transcripts, and how to send them and what to do with them. You're also going to have information about the translations, that we do require English translations in case you have documents that are in a different language or in a foreign language. And in case you need to mail documents to us, like physically mail documents, you also have the address for where to do that. And you're going to see to mail them to the Global Center. And if you do need to send us, for example, official domestic college or university transcripts, you're going to see that we do recommend requesting your official transcripts to send those electronically to the email that the registrar's office used right there. So we have all of the information there that we're not going to cover in this video, but the main point here is to show you where that information lives. Going back to the presentation under phase 1 for the admission, I just showed you where to find the information in admissions.arizona.edu for academic transfers. And I mentioned information about the transcripts. The main point here is that we can use unofficial transcripts for the admission evaluation, which is the beginning of the process, at least for this initial phase. And if you have questions, you can always email us at international@arizona.edu. And the point about the time frame is that assuming that you have a complete application, nothing is missing, everything is good to go, the moment we have a complete application for the admission step, it would take us between 7 to 10 business days for us to issue an admission decision. So moving on with the academic transfer process, phase number 2 entails the articulation. In other words, the actual transferring of credit that you're going to get from your previous university or college into the University of Arizona. This is an actual report you can see where you can analyze how the classes you took convert into the University of Arizona structure. That's actually handled by the Transfer Credit and Articulation Office. So what you want to do is you go to transfercredit.arizona.edu. Once you go to the website, you can click right there on International, and you're going to be able to examine a lot of information, including International Credit Conversion Guide, Upper and Lower Division Designations, and Supplemental International Transfer Credit Guide. Something that is very useful in this website in particular, you can click right here, for example, under Transfer Credit Guide, and you could select your state. Let's say that you are transferring from a school within the United States, and you can just select the state, let's say Arizona, and then the website is going to give you a list of the schools found matching your search. So these are schools, colleges, and universities within Arizona. And a very common college where students transfer from would be, for example, Pima Community College. And this is where you can see the course equivalency, and you can do your analysis. For example, if you took a course in accounting at Pima Community College, then you click and you'd be able to see the Pima course, and then you can see how it would actually count or transfer. So you can start seeing, the utility of this catalog, because it allows you to anticipate what can potentially transfer and what courses would not transfer. So at this point, we are talking about, schools within the U.S. But what if you are looking for an international college or university? They do provide some information on that as well, and let me show you where to find that. So what you want to do in that case is go back to International, and then once you're there, you're going to look at International Credit Conversion Guide. Once you do that, you're going to click on that link, and it's going to take you to this database where you can filter by country or filter by institution. The main idea here is that this is a work in progress. The idea for the office is to develop more catalogs by country and to add more so that students can analyze ahead of time to see what the transfer is going to look like for those classes. But something else that they provide, if you go to International, you can also look at Supplemental International Transfer Credit Guide, the SITCG, and then you can click right there, view that one. And you can also analyze additional or supplemental international transfer credits. And what you want to do is same idea. Let's look at Mexico. You apply, and that's what you can see. For example, Universidad de Sonora, you can see a lot of different courses that they have already, I would say, examined to see the conversion into University of Arizona. And you can see upper division or lower division transfer, etc. And you can see the UA equivalency. So you can continue to examine, for example, India. Let's do that, and then you're going to see for India, you can see some institutions, and again, you can see the equivalency at the University of Arizona level. So this is a transfer credit and articulation office, and they are the ones that actually transfer the credit. They are the ones that analyze and provide a report that you can see in your UA Access at some point to see which credits or which international credits or even domestic credits will count, or can be transferred to the University of Arizona. Once the transfer credit and articulation office has finished the evaluation on your credits, on the classes that can be transferred, you're going to get a report that you can access in your UA Access with your NetID and password, and you're going to be able to see the report, and you're going to be able to see the classes that were accepted, and you're going to be able to see, information about them, the units accepted, and the equivalencies at the University of Arizona. So you got a really nice report, and you're able to see how, that was conducted. So you're going to have access to that, and you can utilize that in your conversations with advisors. And if you have questions with the office, then you can refer to that report. So we were looking at transfercredit.arizona.edu as part of phase 2, the articulation. And something that I want to mention is that for the official posting or the official transferring or the official articulation of credit, the University of Arizona has to receive official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. At this point, it is important that we have those in your file because that is the only way that we can transfer that credit officially. So you have to request official transcripts, and it is always better to do that in the beginning. In the previous phase 1 for admission, I mentioned that we can use unofficial transcripts for the admission step, but for phase 2, we do have to have the official transcript. So we would encourage you to always request those as soon as you can to save time and make sure that we have those on file. And for questions at this point, you can email articulation@arizona.edu. And the time frame for this process for the articulation step would be 10 or more business days. So moving on with the academic transfer process, phase number 3 entails the awarding or the counting of credits towards a degree. And this is something that you will be doing together with an advisor. And if you have questions, you can email advising@arizona.edu. And the time frame, it really depends on your college or your advisor. Typically, when students are about to come, as part of the process for incoming students, you do have to take the next steps in the Next Step Center. You get to sign up for orientation. And after that, or during orientation, you get to talk to an advisor. And at some point, you have a conversation with your advisor about the credits that were transferred and how many of those can count towards the specific degree that you applied for. So that is the whole point of this video, to explain to you that answering that question that you have in the beginning really takes a while until you're able to go through the process of being admitted, then articulating that credit, and then having a conversation with your advisor to see how many of those transfer credits can count towards the degree that you want to graduate in. If you want to find your academic advisor, then go to advising.arizona.edu. So under directory, you can go to advisors by major, by minor, or by college. For example, click right there. And if you want it, for example, College of Engineering, then you would click right there. And you're going to be able to see a lot of different contacts and phone numbers and websites and a lot of information by major. In this case, Biosystems Engineering, for example, you would click. And then you're going to be able to see the names of advisors and different people. And again, you're trying to find that information to see if they can assist you with those questions pertaining to the credits that are transferring and how many will count towards a specific degree. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Take care.